get started, we are going to cover up the yoga mat. So I have a yoga mat underneath this, but I have a blanket just spread all the way across it, because for the yin practice, you really don't even need a yoga mat. You just need a soft place to be. So this blanket is nice. You will also need one more blanket for the practice. And I've got 2 pillows here, just some bed pillows that we will probably use. So you can just have the couple pillows off to the side for now. Get a nice big sprawl out here with this blanket. And then we are going to start seated in the practice, sitting for a little bit. So I have this second blanket here that we can fold up and start sitting on. So you could just take this blanket and put it anywhere in the middle of the mat for now. And go ahead and have a seat on it. And when you sit here, just sit where you would be facing like the front of your mat. The beginning of this month, I was just really feeling into, and I'm, in the month and still feeling into listening. So I have disciplined myself, and it does take discipline for me to not produce or not be productive. So I created a promise to myself that I would take a sacred pause this month to really listen and receive without taking action. So being in practice and even traveling a little bit and receiving in that way and not producing. And I feel there is a lot of information coming to me, things that I want to create, and some really big changes that are on the horizon. And it's a challenge to just continue to be patient, just continue to listen, as the promise I made to myself for the rest of this month before taking action in October. And this is because I feel and I see reflecting in many people's lives how much change is going on now. And I really want these changes that are growing in me and calls that are growing in me to really solidify in my body and in my energy, where I really understand my why, and can devote myself more entirely to these things instead of just getting inspirations and acting on a whim. Really grounding myself more deeply in the decisions that I'm making. And it's beautiful to be in a yin practice this afternoon and to be in a yin practice under that intention in my life this month, because there's always a certain resilience and endurance in just staying and waiting. It's to get out of a posture or to get out of a space, I gotta get out of here, or I need to shift this, or I need to go to this or reach for this or whatever it is. This practice is really helping us, training us, really. These practices train us how to be in our life. And this practice in particular is just hey, let's just stay here. Let's just stay here for a little bit longer, feel a little bit more, whatever is there, get a deeper understanding. the deeper understandings come when we spend more time with one particular thing or one time in a space, right? If we get like, you think about the relationships that you have in your life, and you have certain relationships that are like very deep, you know, your most intimate ones, they're the ones that you spend the most time in. And then other ones that are beneficial and beautiful, but maybe you don't spend as much time in them, so the understanding and how they affect you on a daily basis isn't as integral into your being. So this listening space of this practice of yin and yoga nidra really just like, you know, this is mergence with all that is. That practice is like, where am I? What do I really need to hear right now? Particular for me, what's rising in me, what's opening in me, you know, and what is this call? Like, because we're always being called into our future, and that thing is always shifting. So what is unfolding? And how much information do we get when we're just like, I'm going to stay a little longer. I'm going to listen a little longer before I move. So that's my prayer for the month, and my prayer for my practices this month. And, you know, we can take that in to our practice today. So we'll begin seated. If you want to listen to some music, you're more than welcome to just kind of tune that, you know, put that on now, have it and hold the space for you. This is also a beautiful practice to do in silence. Totally up to you. I've been sitting with my left hand over my right and my hands in my palms. That's just an offering if you want to maybe try that. You could also place your hands on your thighs and, you know, whatever is comfortable for you to sit. As we come into this seat, as opposed to sitting like very tall and alert with the chin more towards the horizon, I want us to allow the chin to go down a little bit. So even with our eyes closed in our seat, when we sit with the gaze at the horizon, I experience more of a feeling of looking forward. But the intention really here is to be present and to look into the now. So if we drop the chin a little bit and even the eyes are closed, but the direction of the gaze is more right in front of us, you know, right on that earth space in front of us, what energy does that really cultivate in the body? And then just resting, you know, your hands on your thighs or your left hand over your right really peacefully. And you could even soften the back body. You don't have to sit up, right, like super alert. Just kind of soften yourself into the space, be a little bit more comfortable in your body, have that chin, you know, a little dropped so that you're really here, and taking some reverence for the present moment, reverence in presence. Right, and let's just start to bring our attention to our breath and our bodies and this space today. And just notice how the breath is moving in and out, and if the body could become a little bit more soft. And then also just tuning into any sounds in your space. Can be the music that is holding the space, but also tinier sounds of the room or sounds of the street. Right, and this kind of listening really brings us into the here and now, right? What is actually occurring in this moment through sound? Soften up the belly a little bit and send the breath down. And also allow the legs to become more weighted. Even if you don't do anything, can you experience the energy being drawn through gravity towards the earth? Like your legs were actually like roots of a tree, really planted. Strong in the steadiness. And then let's just reflect for a few moments on any big themes or emotions that we've been working with, experiencing, communicating about, thinking about. And just invite them into your practice today as well. And perhaps not to figure out or even understand, but just to deepen relationship with. I really believe that indecision comes from a lack of depth with the relationship in the things that we have to make decisions about. There is a way to live in knowing and in doubtlessness. There's a way to walk in this life with certainty. I believe if we are feeling uncertain, if we just haven't spent enough time listening deeply enough to what wants to be heard. And just a few more moments here following the breath, being with whatever is there. Take a big breath in through the nose. You can open your mouth. Let's do another one like this. Big breath in and out. And you can open your eyes just for a moment so you can look at me. You will bring your palms together like an Anjali Mudra, right? Like they're in a prayer, but they'll point down at an arrow-like shape towards the earth. And we'll use the full breath in, and we're gonna lengthen our breathing. So as we breathe in, the arms are going to lift right above the head, which should create a really gentle arc and an opening. And that's the full inhale. And then on the exhale, you'll cactus the arms and just take them back any amount as you circle them forward and down and return to that arrow in the earth. And we're gonna move in this with our own breathing. You can close your eyes so the experience can just be a little bit more internal. And when you're breathing in, the arms will lift. You'll feel this creation of space and length in the body. And then when you're ready to breathe out, the elbows will bend, you'll cactus them around, get some spaciousness in the shoulders and the gates of the heart. Palms will come together, finding the direction of the earth, and then you'll lift and breathe in. When the arms are all the way up and you're breathing out, cactus and circle them around. So this is pretty simple, and I'll leave you to it for a minute or so on your own. My invitation is for you to work on slowing the breath. So slowing the movement so that the breath actually becomes longer. And this is a trick to help calm the nervous system, is a really long breaths. Long inhales, long exhales. And then also attune yourself to the pace of your movement. So as you're circling the arms, and moving them, go really into every single place, not just A to B, but what does it feel like when the fingertips release from each other and move through space in opposition? And what happens when the elbows bend, when the hands come down? What do the palms feel like, and the texture of the air? Just attune yourself to every piece of this movement as you go. Start to maybe notice some of the heat that builds. Where the breath feels easy, where it feels tight or short. Where you want to rush, where you want to slow down. You're just noticing. Going to do a few more, about 3 more. And if you want to, on your last one, you could even just open your eyes and have a soft gaze down towards the earth and experience one of these rounds, seeing the body move around you, the arms move around you. And then the next time that the hands come down, let's just rest them on the thighs. You'll close your eyes for a moment if you have opened them, and just notice what has shifted. Feeling a breath in and out. I'm always amazed at the increase of stillness, even from something really simple like this. So you're going to go ahead and open your eyes. You can come off of whatever you're sitting on, your blanket there, and just bring it to the side of your mat space, your practice space. And we'll come into a tabletop or an altar pose here, reverse tabletop. Fingertips face your hips, feet to the ground. Lift the hips up and breathe in and out. We're going to stay for 2 more breaths, so you could drop the head, you could shift the hips a little bit, feel into the shoulder space, releasing that from a little bit of work that we've done. And then take another in-breath, and on the out-breath, you'll allow your hips to come right back down to the ground. Keep your hands where they are, extend your legs long forward, and then press the palms into the earth, puff your chest up, Just a little bit more. Feel into that arch. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, we'll shift forward into a fold. So you can bring your palms onto the floor on either side of your legs. And the palms could be down and the palms could be up. I kind of like having the palms down. The feet can kind of fall to the sides a little bit. The legs can be soft. We're going to be here for a bit of time. We will do our best to drop the chin into the chest and just let the head hang. If that's a lot on the head, you could always like put a pillow on your by your shins or your thighs and try and find some head support. Your head won't land on anything, so it is going to feel like whoa of an opening in the back of the neck, but this is pretty good. And this can be a challenging shape in the beginning, but I promise with steady breath and just deeper sense of surrender as we move into this fold, your whole universe will start to open in your awareness. So just be patient. These postures always take about, half a minute to a minute for the energy to start to align and flow. So just be in your breath while you're getting there. Remember that endurance to stay and listen. The yin practice is really about finding your edge and dancing on that. So there is that edge of discomfort. Know the difference between pain and discomfort. Right? Listen for that. If there's pain, you pull back. When things get intense or the thoughts are really kind of consuming your experience in a way that isn't beneficial, it's nice, I find, to hum on the exhale or create a little tiny bit of a vibrational essence in your body and also some sound. So you can bring that into your practice also when you, again, feel like some discomfort. It helps to clear stuck energy, either physically or mentally.
The work is really to stay still, to be with what is, to continue to look even when we want to turn away, or it would be more comfortable to think about it later, or to be with it later. Be with it now. We've got a couple more minutes here, so stay with it. In these last few moments here, can you really bring your awareness to the pieces of the body that are experiencing a pretty massive opening right now? And when I say big, it might be deep. So it might be like these tiny things that are opening, but the bigness is the depth of that, right? It's below the surface. Or maybe haven't been opened because they haven't been opened long enough before. And then you will take a big breath in and use your exhale to super slow come out of this one. So you can kind of press your hands down, take your time, right? We've been there for a while, so you want to take your time coming out of it.
Walking your hands back towards your hips, more or less like Dandasana. And finding your breath upright. All right, so we're gonna do a little more backline work and come into a plow pose or halasana. So take your second blanket and unfold it. This is more or less like if you were in a yoga studio and you took a yoga mat off a shelf, it would probably unfold like this. And lay it towards the back of your practice space so that the shoulders and the neck can be more supported. So if you see here, I have a blanket where my head is gonna go, and then this second blanket for the shoulders. So when you come down and set up in this, you want to make sure that your shoulders and your neck land on this first blanket and your skull, the back of your skull, on the second. And then from there, you can pull your knees in, press your elbows into the ground, and you could just take your knees in a little ball, place your hands on your low back, and hold the knees towards your forehead. And if over the course of the next couple minutes, we won't be here quite as long as that forward fold, you want to lengthen your legs back towards a plow, you can do that. And you could even kind of have the legs a little bent, rest them on your eyebrows or near your temple space, your temples. And then just make sure that you don't turn your neck, that you have your chin in, kind of eyes can be closed, but that gaze is towards the belly button. So all backline work is opening past or memories, right? Things that we don't see in front of us, things we see behind us. And this can be really to transmute and release, not necessarily to revisit or analyze, but just to, like, if you could imagine opening the body and then the past just emptying itself out, so you're not holding it anymore. Just a few more moments here. Okay, so take a breath in. And then very slow, deliver your spine onto the ground. Easy. Pull your knees into your chest, or just take your heels towards your seat. Hold on to the knees in front of the shins, and you could rock a little bit from side to side. Breathe into the belly. Then let's take a little rock up to sit, soft as possible. We can take this blanket out of the way, bring it to the side again, and then let's come forward onto all fours, hands and knees. And we'll just do a little movement here of cat-cow so you can feel into your spine after all of that and create some evenness. Breathe and maybe circle the spine. And then find a neutral spine. Extend your right arm up towards the sky and breathe in. And then take it underneath you as you breathe out.
lay on the back of that right shoulder. Two options for you here. You could walk the left arm over the head if that feels right, or just reach your left arm out over your right. When I do that, my right hand lands at about the middle of the left forearm. And this might be a little more restorative of nature, where you can just let yourself go here. I'm actually going to stick with that one today too. And then we'll take about a minute and a half here to let the back of that shoulder open, invite this soft twist into the body as well. Just continuously checking in with your breathing, finding presence. Let's take another breath here, in and out. Gently press your left hand down so you can open your right arm. You could just counter it there for a moment and take it to the ground. And then we'll switch sides. Extend the left arm up, big breath in, oof, and slide it underneath you. So the weight of your torso is on the back of that left shoulder. So again, you could walk the right arm over the ear if that's easy, or just extend it out over the left so that your heart is really melting towards the inner upper left arm. Find a comfortable place for your head to be. I've got my ankles crossed. It helps me find some balance. You could play with that too if you're struggling. Eyes are closed, right? Like these shapes are like almost like you could fall asleep in them. You get yourself to a balance point where there's so little effort while the opening is happening. Finding an in breath and out. Bringing the right hand down to support you, gentle pressing into the ground. Sweep that left arm out and open it up, counter. Oof, and then right back down. So we'll keep our hips right up on top of our knees and then just slide the arms forward so that you are in a puppy shape or Anahatasana, this melting heart pose. So here, the thumbs are about 3 inches away from one another. There's some strength in the elbows as you move your heart towards the ground. The chin might rest towards the earth or the forehead. Be with this space, it's a big one. Take a breath in And then as you exhale, allow your seat to move to your heels in a child's pose and take your arms back towards the feet, hands back towards the feet so the shoulders can curl and forehead can land right on the ground. Send some breath to your belly here. So let's breathe in and bring your hands onto your heels, and as you exhale, you can just kind of roll yourself up to sit on your heels, coming upright again. You could just sit for a moment with the eyes closed. Notice how you're feeling. So we're just gonna gently get into the hip space very briefly to create that opening before we come into our Nidra practice. So you can sweep your legs around and then just inch your hips towards the center of the mat. So we're gonna work really just gently into these like half pigeons. So we'll start with our right leg forward and the left foot back. This is my left leg, but I'm gonna show you what they look like. So when we do the right leg forward, the left leg just comes back so that you are in like this kind of zigzaggy shape, right? Like this. And then we're gonna lean over that right leg. So the right foot knee is bent like a pigeon. The left knee is bent, so it's just not as far out. This will focus the opening more into that right hip joint as well. And you've got a pillow that might be nice to kind of place underneath the chest as you come forward. We'll take a couple minutes here and then do the other side. So here all the work is in the right hip joint. It's not in the front of the left psoas at all or the hip space. Just really emptying this. And this is part of the yin practice as well as being in the joint, right? Creating actual space in the foundational structure of our bones, our body.
Okay, breathe in and out. Make your way up. And then you can just shift your weight into your right hip and do this little switch, right left leg around, right knee back and bent a little. And then you can use that pillow and you're coming down over the left hip space. I even have my left ribs are really close to my left thigh. Just 2 minutes here, pretty short. Just want to get into this space before we lay out. Okay, beautiful. Breathe in. Oh, come up here when you're ready. All right. You could take your legs out and give them a little rock, or just straighten them out. Even rub the sides of your hips with your hands. So we'll set up for our Yoga Nidra practice now. I want you want to be as comfortable as possible. So take one of your pillows and bring it towards the top of the mat for your head. And then take another one of your pillows and bring it where you would have the knees bent, right? So that bend in the low back, because we'll be here for a good 15 minutes, 15-minute lay. All right, so you can have your knees or your thighs up over that first pillow and then your head on the second one. You've got your second blanket, which you could lay over your hips and your belly, and that just creates a really nice weightedness to the experience. The palms are up. So in this practice, the palms are always exposed. The fingertips are always exposed to the air. So even if you had a blanket all the way over you, you'd maybe pop your fingertips out. Right? The idea here is to have nothing touching the fingers. So give yourself another minute or so to just get really comfortable. You want to feel comfortable enough that you shouldn't have to move at all in this practice. It's really, it's required actually to not move. It's not even a suggestion, it's a requirement. So take your fidgets, slip your shoulders down your back, get your last little wiggles out. You could breathe in and breathe out as you find yourself here. Release through the face and the jaw, release through the shoulders, the front body softens. Let your back body open to the earth. Another way to feel this is to just to become more sensitive to the magnetic force between your physical body and the place that it's held. This magnetism that keeps you in space, keeps you on this planet, your home. She's always drawing you into her. Feel that hug, that pull. And then just notice your breathing here. Bring your awareness to your breath. And without doing anything to the breath, just noticing how it is. And see what sounds you can pick up on again in the room and around your space, in the space, outside of the space, reattuning yourself really to the now, what is presently happening. Bringing your awareness back to your breathing. Experiencing the energy of the breath like a wave. Current of energy moving from the heels to the crown and the crown to the heels with every breath. Almost like that energy, we're cradling you here. The body motionless, but this soothing, washing, cleaning presence of prana. Let's create the intention here to maintain awareness throughout this practice. So it is possible that the body will sleep completely. And it's possible that even the mind will sleep, but our intention is for our awareness or our consciousness to remain. And this is so that consciousness can experience profound rest. So just say to yourself in your mind 3 times, I will stay aware throughout the practice. I will stay aware throughout the practice. Please now bring all of your awareness or consciousness to your third eye center, the space in between your eyebrows. And just notice as you draw your attention there, there is a cultivation of prana or energy or life force some self-existing presence. And as we move through the points in the body, the awareness will just illuminate in these areas, bringing our consciousness throughout our entire being. Bringing your awareness to the throat center and experiencing some point of energy or point of prana, a presence in the throat. Right shoulder joint, awareness or presence of prana, presence, energy. Same in the right elbow, presence or presence, energy, energy presence. And same thing in the right wrist. Feel that prana, force of life or force of light. Now in the right thumb, right pointer finger, right middle finger, right ring finger, and right pinky finger. Feel that prana or energy source in the entire hand and fingers. And feel that energy now again in the right wrist. Points of prana in the right elbow. And that presence in the right shoulder, same energy source. Again in the throat center. Left shoulder joint, point of prana, presence and energy. Same in the left elbow. Feel that presence just there, existing. Your left wrist fills with that light or life force. Tip of the left thumb, left pointer finger, left middle finger, left ring finger, and left pinky finger, all filled with that light, life force, presence, energy. Left wrist, same presence. Left elbow, prana. Left shoulder joint, same pranic energy. And again in the throat center. And feel that energy now in the heart center, deep in the center of the chest. Energy heart. Bring your awareness to the right side of the chest. Feel that energy there. And then awareness right back to the heart center, center of the chest. Awareness in the left side of the chest. And then drawing the awareness back to the heart center. And bring your awareness now down to the navel center, your power center, and feel that pranic force or life energy there existing. Awareness now in your creativity center, the center of the pelvic bowl, full of energy, life. Right hip joint, same pranic light. Right knee. Right ankle. Right big toe. Second toe. Third toe. Fourth toe. And little toe. that pranic light in the right ankle, right knee, right hip. Again, awareness in the creativity center, center of the pelvis. And awareness of that presence or energy in your left hip, left knee, left ankle, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and little toe, all full of energy and light. Same pranic presence, left ankle, left knee, left hip, creativity center illuminated with energy, navel center, same energy, heart center, pranic force, throat center, and third eye center. Feel now all of these points illuminate at the same time. So feel all of these points of energy, points of prana, creative force, life force, bright and emanating from inside the body out. Experience yourself as this source energy. This source energy as the creative force, right? Ever unseen and always felt. Allow those points to start to expand. So the edges of the prana, or the force of life, that energy that you experience as points, begin to blend in with one another as they emanate outward, and the edges of points become just one field of energy until your physical body is entirely encapsulated in this energy, all emanating from your inmost being. And allow yourself to listen here to the consciousness of this force of life, this life energy. The heart of your existence. If there are sentiments, feelings that need to surface here for your attention, tune in to listen. And allow your body to rest deeply, your mind to rest deeply, your spirit to rest deeply in this space. Without moving anything or even deepening the breath, just allow your sense of wakefulness to return to this still point of being. Here you are in a still, calm, restful, physical form, with your energy at peace, mind at ease. And allow your conscious awareness to recognize this state of being as very much a piece of who you are. And then as it does feel right for you to deepen the breath in, you can do that. And of course you are in your own home, so if you feel that it would be more beneficial for you to continue to rest, you may stay. And if you are coming to close your practice with me today, you will find just the gentlest of movements in your fingers to begin. Feeding breath into the body to create a wakefulness. And then even as you are transitioning, consider what it would be to transition within this space and not out of it. You could bend your knees and stand your feet on the pillow that has been supporting them or on the ground. And maybe take your hands onto your heart or your belly just to connect with that space and find an in-between. And as you do feel ready to come over to a side, gently make your way there. Again, taking as much time as you really need to transition. Don't worry if I'm a little ahead of you. You could catch up or ignore me. You are feeling ready to come up to a seat. Super gently make your way there, and you could sit on something or not. Perhaps allowing the hands to land over the heart today. Right hand on the heart, left hand on the right hand, and just tuning back into this space as the place to really guide our listening. The heart physically senses what is coming before the mind does. this is a fact, like a science fact, that its receptors extend, that are greater, so it senses what is coming before the mind does. So our practice is to really listen to the information we're receiving from the heart space as in fact more true than what the mind might be playing. Just taking a moment to honor anything that you need to in yourself here, and intend to carry with you something from this practice through your life right now, or even just the day. And just joining for a breath to close our practice. Take in through the nose and out. You could allow the palms to come together and just gently bow your chin towards your heart and your hands. And releasing them whenever that feels right for you, and lifting your gaze. Wow. Thank you so much for being here with me in this practice. It's very dear to my heart, and I hope that you can carry this sensitivity and sweetness with you for the rest of the night. Be gentle and keep listening. Just keep listening. We hear the term like the veil is very thin. That I was walking with a friend earlier when I was like, I don't even feel like the veil is there. There's so much information coming through. So it's such an awesome time to keep really close relationship with these spaces, so that our lives can unfold with grace. They're always going to unfold the way they're meant to, but we can go gracefully with it, or we can go with confusion and things like this. So thank you again.